Greetings and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our mini campaign of 50 Fathoms. This is a Savage Worlds game written by Shane Lacy Hensley and takes place in a pirate-themed fantasy realm. Once more, as a reminder, we've got through our Sprawl campaign a donation drive going for the Bale project. We are Team Phyllis. You can check out the link for that in the chat. Also, please check out Campaign 0. Link for that is also in the chat. So our charity is doing incredibly important stuff right now. But in the meantime, let us go around and say hi to everyone, find out who they are and who they're playing. And we shall start with Alyssa. Hello!
Hey, my name is Alyssa, aka Origami Shuriken, and tonight I play Harry, the semi-aquatic, lock-picking mammal of action.
Lock-picking action mammal. Lock-picking action mammal. Excellent. I can't say words tonight. I'm going to try, which sucks because I'm the GM, but we'll see what we can do. Let us, though, in the meantime, move on to Jenn. Hello.
Hi.
Wrong.
Jim or Jenn?
Jenn, sorry. I can't speak. Let's move on to Jenn. Hello.
Okay, hi, I'm Jenn, or Soup Duchess. I'm playing Marcel, which is a Haitian revolutionary who's now in Charybdis as a mercenary. For hire, I think.
Excellent. And now let us move on to Ernest. Hello.
Hello, I'm Ernest. I am playing Dr. Elijah Stone, he/him pronouns for both. And we are set to go. Hopefully I don't die before anyone else is almost dead.
Hopefully not. But you never know. Someone might die during the intros in one of these. We're never certain. Thus far, we've managed to avoid it, but we'll see. But now let us head over to James. Hello.
Hey, I'm James, or Jimbeaux. I am playing Kistris, the squid-like wind mage aboard the ship.
Excellent. Yes, good. And now finally let us head over to Anna. Hello.
Hello, yes, my name is Anna. I use she and they pronouns, and I am playing Maria, who uses any pronouns, our ship's Inquisitor turned navigator, and we would both like to wish you a very happy non-binary People's Day.
Yes! Absolutely. Happy non-binary People's Day. Very cool. All right, now before we dive in, just as a reminder, like we do with most games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and we'll do something else. If something happens we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O, and let us know if we're still doing okay. And now, we are at sea. Actually, as we, I decided to just go completely nuts, as these things happen, because why not? And as we are kind of zooming in, we see that there is this vessel, that some folks I think almost jokingly refer to as the Reasonable. I think that it has the Masquani word for reason on it, but it's one of those things that enough humans have come in that they're that it's the translation. That's one of the few Masquani words the translation's a little off. So a lot of folks will refer to it that way. As we sort of zoom in, we can see that there is something of a conflict going on. As we're going to start things in medias res, as they say in Latin, it appears as though as you have been heading toward Brigands Bay, hauling in from the edge of the Flotsam Sea some of your various goods that you have harvested. You're not very far from Brigands Bay. You're very close. You can see it. There are other ships that are that you can see also. But as we sort of zoom in, what we see that is happening is that you appear to be embroiled in a conflict, because there is another ship of folks that have decided, hey, that looks good. Let's catch them before they actually make it to port. And you have been boarded by a relatively it's not a huge vessel, and you have been busily repelling the crew that have been coming on of that other vessel, have been coming on attempting to rob you and take your stuff. So we are actually going to begin this thing with a little. This is going to be somewhat theater of the mind, but I did in fact, just so you're aware, I have, just for reference, grabbed an image of a frigate, so that you can kind of roughly see where the bits of the boat are. I don't have tokens or anything like that for right now, but I just sort of want to get an idea, an impression, as we sort of go around, as we're going to kind of see your characters for the first time and see what they are doing. And I'm going to use I'm actually just going to go ahead and I'm going to start by, we're going to launch directly into the combat system for this briefly. Like I said, some of this is going to be abstracted out a little bit. Don't panic about your exact positioning. Don't worry. But I kind of want to, sort of going around, I'm going to kind of ask, there is something that that you folks recently collected out in the Flotsam Sea that perhaps might be somewhat valuable. We're not sure. And but it's, you've got a bunch of stuff from wrecked ships and things. It's nothing massive, but at least one or two things that you think might be valuable. And I'll just sort of throw this out as an open question before we go into the rounds here. Does anyone have a thought as to what that might be that you've picked up, that you found in the wreckage of a ship? That might possibly be worth something.
I mean, the most obvious thing is just a big chest full of coins and jewels.
Sure, absolutely. So that is a thing that recently, you just found this and it's like, okay, these might actually be worth something. And a lot of it is, it's not like a. I'm going to say that it's not like this isn't retirement money per se, but this would be, this is like, okay, we just salvaged this, we've got to get it in. Part of the reason I think that you're heading for Brigands Bay is that you know that if you go to a legit place, they're going to try to screw you over, and at least when they screw you over here, they tell you up front. And there are certain, the ironic thing is that the pirate-owned place actually, in some ways, is more honest than the other ones. But as we go around this first round, I'm not. Let's see. I picked up a card that I'm going to put on hold because for the crew that's attacking you, because I want them to go last this round. As we go around through the cards, and the camera is going to zoom in on you, and you're going to introduce to us your character and just tell us what they are doing right now. Perhaps someone they're fighting or someone they're defending against as well. and give us a brief action shot of what this looks like. And so as we come down, we zoom onto the deck, and the Queen of Hearts is Kistris. So what do we see?
Sorry, I had to unmute there. Kistris generally is not much of a hand-to-hand fighter per se, or at least he doesn't prefer to fight hand-to-hand. In this case, he is being chased by a boarder, a pirate who has decided that mouth tentacles are something that he really wants to cut off and call his own. And Kistris is showing that through his mastery of both air and just being an agile git aboard a ship, he is leading him through the rigging on quite the merry chase that it is very possible that this pirate will fall off of and either go overboard or brain himself on the deck.
Excellent. That's awesome. That's totally the case. So you're basically in the process of climbing up the rigging. Go ahead for me and make an athletics roll.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. Because I have the rope monkey advantage.
Oh yes.
Let's see. I don't know if that does anything in particular for this particular instance, but I do have it. Just pointing that out.
Awesome. I'm going to go ahead and open up the thing while we're doing that, just so that I can double check it.
And I will roll me some athletics. I think that. Hold on. It is being persnickety for some reason.
There we go. Okay, so either way, you got at least one success. So that works. Also, do note that down on the little playmat that I've put together, you each have bennies. Which in the Savage World system can be spent for rerolls. They can also be spent to try to soak if someone injures you. And for other things as well, like get a new action card. You can also spend one to declare something narratively. The GM also gets bennies as well, but we're just sort of easing into this right now. So we're not gonna do any major stuff with it. But yeah, if anyone, by the way, has any edges or hindrances that give them more or fewer bennies at the start, please let me know. Right now, I've just given everyone 3, because that's what everyone starts with. So yes, you imagine you're climbing higher and higher, and your lookout, who is an Atani, is up in the crow's nest and flying around and sort of sniping at people. You can see just sort of above you as this is going on. And you seem to be getting a good distance on this guy who's getting frustrated trying to get closer to you and hit you with his cutlass, but has not been able to. So now we're going to go down to the Jack of Spades, and the camera is going to pan down further and over onto Maria. Where is Maria on the ship, and what do we see?
I think Maria, as the navigator, has positioned herself kind of like on the bridge of the ship where she'd have a good view of everything that's going on. And I think that she has her rapier drawn out and like in a stance, like she is ready if somebody tries to come up and take over the piloting of the ship. She is looking to exploit any weaknesses that she can spot, because she is, what is the exact word for it? She's very good at noticing things. Ah, right, an investigator. She's trying to see if she can spot any openings or weaknesses to take a hit.
Okay, excellent. So you're up. And then of course the leaks out the brain. What place on the? Where
like the bridge of the ship.
Like on the bridge? Okay, so
Yeah.
so you're probably I think up here is where they've got the where would they put the wheel back here? Yes, because it's turning the thing in the back. Yeah. So yeah. So you're probably up here on the. So they've got a stern castle. The frigate doesn't have a forecastle, but so yeah, you're basically up back here, where there is a certain amount of conflict going on. Go ahead and make a notice roll for me, and we'll see kind of how you're finding openings here.
Where are you on my character sheet? There we go. Okay, so am I taking the number on the left or the right there?
It's whichever is higher. So you're taking in this case.
7.
Yeah. So in this case, you got a 7. So yeah, you basically you're so you look around and you can see that there are that it looks as though you notice two things. One is that it looks like the last of the folks boarding are coming up, sort of on the right-hand side amidships, and there's not a lot going on the left side. One day I will actually properly use port and starboard, and I think port is the left and starboard is the right, but I shall make certain. Because it's important to my brain.
Correct.
It is correct. Yay!
I have looked it up many times because spaceships.
This is true. So yeah, you basically you're on the port side. So yeah, you see on the port side not quite as much. You also see further off in the distance, sort of as you are sort of from the direction of the port, you do see a much larger vessel. That appears to be a galleon that seems to be approaching from the direction of Brigands Bay, and so it's you're not sure if it's friend or foe. It has not put up a flag of any kind as of yet, but it's there, and it's probably going to get here in a little bit. It's not here yet.
So she would definitely shout, "Galleon on the port side!" out to anybody that was within earshot, since we've kind of got our hands full.
Yeah, basically everyone gets to hear that as long as you're above decks, and people are sort of noticing. There's a lot of fighting still going on though, so a lot of folks aren't really looking up right now per se. But you've gotten that sort of stabilized. And you managed to sort of duck out of the way as a couple of sailors basically sword to sword fight their way past you, and now we are going to go over to Perry, who has the 8 of clubs, and we zoom over on Perry. What part of the ship are you on, and what do we see?
Perry is in the water because that is where Perry does best. And they are swimming around to the port side to do that Aquaman thing where you leap up out of the water onto the deck and surprise somebody when they least expect it.
Nice. So I think what I'm going to call for here is stealth, just to see kind of how you do with your deck leapery. Okay, now that is less than a 4. Generally, what we usually are looking for is a 4 or better. However, you are rolling against a group of pirates, so I'm going to roll for them to see, and if they don't get better than a 3, then you've got them. Then you'll have the drop on them effectively. So let me go ahead and roll their notice, and. This is a group check, so I did get a 5. So that means they will probably spot you unless you want to spend a penny. Go ahead.
As a Doreen, I get a +2 to stealth or survival made while swimming.
Well, there you go. Actually, that's you have in fact tied them. So it's going to be uncertain as to if they see you. I think some of them you are going to take by surprise when you jump up there. So you are making your way. We think we have a nice shot of you climbing your way up the side and preparing to leap out at the opportune moment. Let us now go down to the 2 of spades and Marcel. We pan around to Marcel. What is it that we see when we do that?
Marcel would be where the pirates are boarding. They would be trying to shoot their crossbow at those who are still climbing up and like swiping at those who are right in their face.
So basically, you're just you're essentially they're coming up and you're trying to knock them down as they're leaping in.
Yeah.
Awesome. So actually, I'm just going to ask at this point for a fighting roll, just to see kind of how we are doing. Oh, 7. That's very good. Most of these fellas have a parry of 5, so that definitely is going to hit as they're as one of them is coming up. You basically are going to manage to are you trying to are you aiming to hurt them, or are you aiming to just throw them off the ship, or what are you trying to do?
Primarily just get them off, but if they get hurt, that's not my problem.
Excellent. So yes, you managed to actually, as one's coming up, you managed to just sort of elbow him, and he goes back over the side. Just falls back down into the water. And so you have one less pirate to worry about. There are about the ones that are currently are going to try to be engaged with you. Of them, there are maybe like about 5 of them at this point, and then there are others that other members of the crew that are fighting, which I will describe in a bit when I get to their card. Oh, hey, thank you for the sub. Yay, thank you, Sphinx, much appreciated. Now we go down to the 2 of hearts and Elijah. We pan over to Elijah. What do we see? You're muted.
Elijah's coming up from below deck. He's just a little annoyed, a little tired, a little pissed. I had heart surgery, not the night before. And I'm eating some hardtack, just kind of like, just chewing at it. And the first person I see who doesn't look quite right, I'm fire a warning shot past their face. Like, don't you have better things to do than this? Really?
Awesome. So I'm going to let you choose either shooting or intimidate for the roll that you're going to make here.
I'll do shooting since I have that.
Awesome. Okay, that's a 5. So that's going to hit. Are you aiming to aiming to actually sort of hit them, or are you trying to hit and injure them, or are you just, or is that a warning shot?
It's more like I'll wing one of them, nothing grievous, just kind of like maybe like like a wing past their face that I kind of just like, get out of here.
So one of these crew members who you just basically it goes right past. This is a Masquani. It sort of sort of streaks past the face. He's like and he is disoriented right now and is now just sort of looking around to try, sort of figure out what to do. I'm going to go ahead and bring these 2 cards that I drew off hold. And I'm going to go in their order just to demonstrate stuff that's going on in the background. So we have the right now the pirates are have a king, but like I said, I put them on hold for the purpose of just this first round. And what they are now doing is you have just a couple of fights going on. You sort of see Will sort of near the sort of amidships. You're seeing you are seeing your Captain MacIver, who is again just basically stabbing people at this point that are coming at her because she's had enough at this point. It's like, we're almost in port, damn it. You know? You're right now you kind of see that your super Clyde is also aboard deck and just up on deck and just sort of casually hitting folks with a cudgel that he's got from down below. Right now, your cabin boy Hensley is cowering in the just below decks at present because I say cowering. He's looking up and he's wanting to help, but he's been told to stay below deck, and so he's like just sort of timidly looking out from behind the from actually just where Elijah has just stepped out, so we're going to. Let's see. So I think that we're going to have, and this is where various battle tokens would come in handy, but I don't have those right now, so I'm just going to write things down real quick. There is basically going to be, since I said there were 5 of these, there's going to be one of them kind of close to each of you, who are going to try to to attempt to attack. A couple of them are shaken already because of stuff that you have done. Or are further away because of stuff that you have done. So I'm going to just again going across the board in the order that we had so that I can better remember what was going on. Kistris, one of them is trying to climb up to hack at you, and so I'm going to make a climbing roll for him to see how he does. And that is athletics also. And he got a 4, so he's clinging on. He's not gaining on you at this point, but he is getting closer. And he's got his he's got his knife and he's got his cutlass in his teeth at this point, and he's just sort of climbing up and trying to get up to where you are. Hasn't quite gotten there yet, but is getting nearer. Let me see. For Maria, you're not actually right close to any of them, but one of them is going to just sort of sees you and is just sort of flipped his knife over and is going to try to throw it at you. And I'm going to say that because you're near kind of the wheel, you've got partial cover. So it's not going to be that easy. No, fortunately, here's the thing. Fortunately, I was rolling for only a single one, and these are extras. These are not wild cards. That good. 10 means absolutely nothing for this particular roll. Had I been rolling for them as a group, then then it would have been a night of the long knives. And I'd be rolling a new character, honestly. Possibly, but that would be a terrible thing to do. But yes, no. So a dagger goes whistling past you and thuds into the wood behind, on the port side of the stern castle, and so he's like, and he's starting to get up closer.
A little more to the right next time.
Just sort of shaking his head. Moving on down Perry. So you're actually at the point that you're seeing one of these crew members has kind of tried to you're not sure if he's spotted you or not, but you do see someone's face actually who is a bit of a ways away, and he's just sort of looking down, squinting as though he's not sure if he sees something or not. But he right now is also pulling a dagger. He's sort of by the mast back here, and is just sort of looking. He's trying to find a decent shot. Sort of lining up, kind of aiming right now. But that's what you were observing. So as we go down over to Marcel, we see that another one of them is just sort of leapt up and is trying to swing at you with their cutlass, which we will now make the fidgeting roll. And no, that can't. I'm going to assume you have fighting, and so therefore your parry will be higher than 3. So so you've got this guy sort of up next to you, and he swings at you, and nothing happens because you're able to turn and sort of parry him off as this is going on, and then this guy that's near Elijah is going to try to unshake. Because he is shaken right now. And let's see. So I got a 5 on the spirit die. And so it did succeed at unshaking. And so is going to attempt to, let's see. You did successfully intimidate him, so I'm going to actually make a spirit roll for him real quick, a second spirit roll. To see how he is feeling about attacking you right now. And he's not feeling too great about attacking you. He just sort of was like, and he just sort of backs up. He kind of sees that you're a doctor. He backs up, and he's going to turn, and he's actually running back in the direction, roughly, of Marcel. That's the pirates. And then also the crew are basically still going back and forth and fighting right now. I'm now going to make a general a couple of rolls here just to see how people are doing at fighting things. They're doing okay. All right, so yeah, at this point they are keeping the other pirates at bay. And slowly but surely, it looks as though your side seems to be doing all right against repelling them. But you still got a little bit more time before things change. But now next, I'm going to go ahead and deal out for the next round these cards, so we see what is happening next. And Perry gets a king. Marcel gets an 8. Elijah gets a 3. Kistris gets an 8. And again, folks, if you have any Maria gets an ace. If you have anything that any edges that change the number of cards you get or different cards you get, please let me know. Pirates go on a 3, and the rest of the crew goes on a 9. So Maria is first this time. Maria has an ace. What would you like to do?
Since I don't think the terrible knife-throwing pirate is really doing an awesome job at hitting me, I want to check over at that galleon that we spotted and see, has it raised any colors? How much closer is it?
Excellent.
Do we need to, hoist sail to hightail it away?
Make a... I'm going to ask you to make a common knowledge roll at this point, unless you have some other specific nautical knowledge that you've taken. I think we're going to go with common knowledge. It's either going to be common knowledge or probably like academics or something along those lines.
Well, those are the same, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. I'll do common knowledge.
Okay.
I kind of want to spend a penny
okay.
to re-roll that.
You may do so. All right. Go ahead and...
There we go.
That is okay. So, Yes. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so, yeah. There we go. All right, I had to put down. I had to grab some words real quick. You actually are going to recognize the ship, and the ship as it's coming. It looks like they are preparing to hoist a flag, but you cannot see which flag they are hoisting yet. But this galleon is the Sanguine Tomb. And yeah, this is the flagship of Crimson Carlisle Tempest. Crimson Carlisle is, shall we say, very somewhat unpredictable. He is actually one of the few pirates that has multiple ships under his command, and has basically, from what you had read, had cut a bit of a bloody swath across the sort of across the Caribbean, about like 125 years or so before you were around.
Okay.
And from what you have heard last, he was there was some sort of deal between his fleet and the being done between his fleet and the folks running Brigands Bay. So but you know, so it's hard to say. The pirates are not supposed to attack each other at Brigands Bay, but you are just a bit outside, so it's hard to know what his particular motivation is going to be at this time. But if he is going to attack you, you are all screwed.
Does the ship look like it's gaining on us at all?
Well, you were headed toward Brigands Bay, so I mean it is getting closer.
Okay.
So it does look like it's doing something. Yeah, right now your ship isn't moving very much.
I'll just shout out, "Hoist sail and make for the bay as quickly as you can."
And people are sort of hearing that, and they're like, "Ah!" and trying to see if they can repel these boarders enough that they can start actually moving the ship, which they will attempt to do when we get down when it's their turn. And now we are. Well, let's see. Is that all you want to do, or do you want to move somewhere, or anything else?
No, I'll just stay on the bridge and defend if anybody decides that they want to come poke me with a pointy piece of metal.
Yeah. There's just one. One is one fellow up here is trying to do it. He lost his knife and he's now about to try to use his cutlass on you. But that's what we have there. So we're going over to King of Diamonds. So Perry, it is time.
So Perry is going to attempt to get as close as possible to that fellow with the dagger, and draw their own knife.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you are going to try to. So at this point, are you going to just sort of come up over the side, or?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah, he's, like I said, he was a little bit of a ways back, so it's basically going to be kind of a jump and run that you're doing, and so you want to do that and take a swing at him. So I guess we're just going to call this a fighting roll, as you do this. We'll see. Okay, so that is a 3. That is not going to hit his parry. Do you want to spend a Benny?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and re-roll. Okay. His
Good.
getting closer. So the parry was a 5. Unless you want to keep spending them, then you will miss. Yeah. So you come up and he barely manages to dodge out of the way. He was unfortunately, you did not quite have the drop on him because, like I said, he was seeing something. He's now at a point that he does have his back up against the mast now, though, so you do have that advantage. So now let us go on down to the 8 of Hearts, and Marcel, what you doing? You've got one person that you're that's coming at you at this point.
So we need to move the ship, right? So I would try to free up our crew to do that by, like, if they're getting harassed, I would jump in there.
Okay. Sure, absolutely. So you're going to try to put yourself between at least one of the crewmen who can get to the wheel and start doing this. So yeah, go ahead and make a. I think just. So you're primarily just defending at this point, I would assume, right? Unless you want to, if you want to keep doing with the stabbery, I'd say just make another fighting roll, and we can do that. Unless you want to do anything else in particular.
I think I'll do that.
Okay. It's again not quite enough to hit the parry of any individual pirate. And do you want to spend a Benny, or do you want to just?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and re-roll. Nine. Okay, so that hits with a raise, which means you're going to get bonus damage on this. So go ahead and roll your damage for your weapon, if you would please. That is a lot. What does this look like when you take out these pirates that were charging at you?
Dang, I guess they lose a limb, probably like an arm or something.
Awesome. Arm goes flying, and he basically is this one guy was trying to get past you and does not succeed at all. Just basically like goes down. That does definitely help free up the crew to begin working on what they were doing, which is good because I just skipped over their card. But this is a good time. So yes, I'm going to just going to make a roll real quick to kind of see where we are with our boating. That's not great. So they're very slowly starting to start moving the ship. It's going to take a moment as they're getting over there. So now it's over to Kistris with the 8 of diamonds. What would you like to do?
Using, once again, the rope monkey advantage, I plan on swinging down from where I am to try to land on the pirate that is near Maria.
Awesome. Okay. So, yeah, totally. Go ahead and you're going to be swinging down. I think this is just going to be athletics.
Okay.
Are you planning to do a second action this round, or just the swoop down?
I plan on swooping down and attacking.
Okay, so it's going to be a -2 to each of those rolls, just so you're aware.
But I also get a +2 on the fighting because of Rope Monkey.
Excellent. Good. Yeah, so that's going to even out. So it's really just getting down there that you gotta deal with here.
Athletics.
Perfect. You can land anywhere you want.
Think I got that. And then the fighting. Not so good.
Do you want to spend a penny or no?
You know what? What the hell? I'll spend a penny.
All right.
I mean, I gotta look good doing this.
Absolutely.
Nope.
Nope, not quite enough, but you got closer at least. So yeah, you do manage to land. So Kistris lands on the Stern Castle, just sort of over by this guy who was charging at Maria with his cutlass, and you have garnered his attention.
Not the way I wanted to.
But now we go over to Elijah, who has the 3 of spades. What would you like to do? Muted.
Okay. You hear me now? Fine now?
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, I look around and I hear Maria, saying we should, get into the bay. And not really much for lollygagging or being around, or being out in the open. So you heard her, boys. Get in there. So I try to, try to rustle up the other crew members. Oh, we all right if the wind was in our sails. We'll be all right if the wind was in our sails. Just try and roll the old chariot along and get them all, all ready to go. Come on.
Awesome. I would just say do persuasion for this. Okay, you got a 5, and that is helping. So they're going to get they're going to do a little bit going a little bit faster. They're going to I'm going to give them a bonus when they are since you are helping. I'm going to give them a bonus the next time they have to roll for that.
I don't have boating. Can't have boating. I'm a landlubber. I want to get back to land.
Perfect. That's a very good. That's a very smart way to try to get them together there. Okay, excellent. So now it's down to the pirates, and we have I'm just going to go now left to right since I took the cards away. Right now, the one that's trying to fight Perry is going to try to strike back, and so I shall roll fidgeting. And Perry, what is your parry? Actually, he got a 2. He misses. Never mind. I keep forgetting. I only look at the left side for them. They're extras. Okay. And let's see. Marcel took care of the one that was near them. So that's nothing to worry about there. There's no one near Elijah right now. There's the one that's near Kistris, who is going to now attempt to strike at them. And what is your parry? It's probably more than 3.
That's a 5.
5, yeah. No dice, and that's the same one that's down by Maria. So yeah, no, that's we're only really dealing with 2 at this point. That there's the one of the stern castle and the one that's by the mast. As the others have either been dismembered or otherwise are convinced not to continue. So for the third round, that galleon is getting closer. And as it does so, it's actually coming, it's going to start turning. And you can see it does have a bunch of cannons brimming on its side. Not sure if it's... you see people going... There are people behind them. They don't seem to be... You're not sure if they're about to use them or not. But there are people over there.
I don't love this at all.
The pirates are going on a 10 this time. And the rest of your crew goes on an ace. On the ace of spades. So they're actually going next. They're going to start... they're going to do another boating roll. And this time they're getting a bonus. Oh. Okay, they just succeeded because of the bonus that Elijah just gave them. So they are now very narrowly. The ship is turning, and it's now starting to head toward the port. As they're trying to get this, as they're trying to get going, kind of tacking across the wind, and starting to pull away from this other ship that has boarded them. It's probably going to be a moment, you see that they are also doing fairly decently at finishing off the remaining pirates that have boarded. So they're getting pretty. It's looking pretty good at this point, probably. But let's continue down here to the Ace of Hearts. Perry, what are you doing?
I am going to take another stab at this guy I have backed up against the mast.
Awesome. So this will once again be fidgeting.
And 2.
That would be a 2. So yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of near missing going on right now, which is a thing that happens. However, you are starting to get a couple of crew members coming over to help. So you're going to if you decide to take additional swipes at some point, you're going to get more.
I should just start winding a rope around him and the mast.
Yeah, probably at this point, probably the easiest thing to do. But he too is getting frustrated, as it is now his turn. So he's going to try to one more time he's going to try to hit you.
No.
And he will fail. The one that is over on Kistris will make an attempt. Similarly fail. As they're sort of as the ship is turning, so they're dashing back and forth across the deck now, involuntarily to an extent. As we have the thing what they tell you to do if you're an extra on Star Trek and they shake the camera happening, and now we are over to the 7 of Spades. Elijah, what are you doing? Muted.
All right, looks like we're heading towards land. Good for me. Don't want to be out here for too long. I'll just yell generally at things and try to with my empty gun intimidate more of them off the boat.
Okay.
No time to reload.
Yes. As you reload, so you're
Like,
all right. So go ahead and this would be an intimidate roll. If you do not have intimidate, then this is an unskilled roll. Okay. Let's see. Oh dear. Okay, that's Snake Eyes, which means that Although it'd be yeah, -1 and -1. Okay. Whenever you roll snake eyes on the dice, that means that's actually something you cannot spend a penny on, because you have that is basically a botch. And so you see this. You're kind of lucky that they're busy, because they're just sort of looking, and they're sort of murderously in your direction now, and you see one of them. One of them turns and just sort of shouts back, "Bring the powder!" And something's happening over on the other boat that was up until now right next to yours, the one that was attacking you. As you see that there is, as they do so, that it seems that they're bringing a keg up toward the side that they're getting ready to do something with. Possibly, it looks like they're bringing fire toward it, but they don't get an action yet. And now we go to Marcel. What would you like to do?
Kistrus is still getting attacked, right?
Yes.
Okay. I want to shoot that guy.
Awesome. Excellent. Yes, up on the stern castle. Yes. Go ahead and make your roll of shootery. Make your shooting roll, and we'll see if you hit. 4 is enough to hit. If you're within close range, which everyone is. This is a ship. So if you manage to hit, go ahead and do your damage. Okay, 7. Which I believe their toughness is 5, so that is enough to shake. So it's basically you kind of sort of have got you think possibly you grazed him, but he looks like he's sort of stumbling around at this point. He doesn't he might not be long for this world.
Okay. And then I would just say, like, Kistrus, we need to move now.
Nice. The next card goes to Maria. What would you like to do?
I'd similarly like to engage the pirate that is attacking Kistrus that Marcel just shot at with my rapier, so that Kistrus can get an opening.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead and roll fighting for me. Okay, that's not going to hit.
Let's use a Benny, because I really don't want to get blown up on the first session of the game.
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'll
5.
take it. 5.
That hits. Go ahead and do your damage.
It's so nice having actual weapons in a Savage Worlds game for once. Oh my god.
So what does this look like when you dispatch this character?
Oh gosh, I think it's just a very sort of, maybe he like turns around as he's trying to get away from Marcel, and it's just a very quick across the throat with the tip of the rapier that dispatches him, and he flumps down onto the deck.
Yep. Unfortunately, the bonus damage would have been awesome. Unfortunately, but fortunately, you did not need it. As there was not a raise, but you did manage to still kill the guy. So he goes down.
I'll just use it to twirl my sword.
Yeah, it looks very impressive. I can tell you that. And he's down on the deck, and now we are down to Kistrus.
So Kistrus, seeing the pirate shot and then taken out with a very adept strike to the neck, kind of bows towards Marcel, bows towards Maria, then looks up at the sail and blows it a kiss and casts Zephyr to give us tremendous wind to sail by.
Please make your spellcasting roll.
Okay. Just a moment.
Oh, that's very good. So, wind fills the sails, and you begin moving at an accelerated rate. You pull completely away from this other ship as they're trying to light this keg and throw it. And you're pulling slowly away. I'm going to say at this point that you have fairly well dispatched almost everyone except this one guy that's kind of pinned to the mast right now. And so I just want to check briefly, as this guy's going to, I think this guy, when he sees this happening, is probably going to try to get away. So I'm just, just to determine this here real quick, I'm only going to draw, I'm going to draw a card for Perry, and I'm going to draw a card for this guy just to, oh, look at that. Yeah, so Perry, you're going to completely anticipate this, and you're going to get a bonus to whatever you want to do. What would you like to do?
I say, you seem a decent fellow. I hate to kill you. I'm just gonna knock him out and take him with us.
Nice. Okay. Go ahead and then, yeah, so you're going to try to basically come down with it. Go ahead and make a fighting roll for me. You're going to get a +2 to this. Okay, so that's going to be 7. So it's definitely going to be enough to, hit. Go ahead and just roll your strength damage for me real quick, just so that I can see. Are you using like the butt of your weapon or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's going to be, oh, holy crap. This man is out cold. Yeah, basically goes down like a sack of potatoes. You knock him out and he's now down on the deck. Your ship is going to zoom across sort of the side as you see this sort of becoming much larger, but you're moving sort of to the side of it now, so that if they wanted to shoot at you, they can't do it quite as well toward the sanguine tomb. And you are moving quickly, but enough time will pass as this is happening that you'll be able to. That what you'll see as you're doing this is, as soon as you move to the side, the ship continues turning, and the cannons come up, and they fire at the vessel that was attacking you. They basically give them a 4-gun salute, and and you see that there are multiple explosions now happening on this other small ship that was trying to get you. The ship was a little smaller than yours. And it goes up like not so much kindling, pretty much, because that's what it's made out of. As the cannons just sort of fling into them. As your ship is passing by the sanguine tomb, you're going to hear someone speaking probably through a megaphone, or, well, shouting through a megaphone, because, it's not it's not amplified in any way aside from, just saying, "Apologies, just spotted those fellas. You require any assistance?" And
I assume it's up to our captain to make.
Yeah,
that
the
call.
captain is basically just sort of like squinting over at this point. And she looks around. As no one seems to be injured as far as she can. She's sort of looking around, and she's just sort of squinting. "Carlisle, were those blackguards yours?" some rather fitful ex-employees, I'm afraid. Just had to show them what for. My apologies.
I am just grateful they threw the barrel onto the other ship instead of ours, but...
If you've got anyone over there you want us to clap in irons for you, we'll be happy to do that.
I think Maria just looks down at the one that her and Marcel dispatched, looks over at the one that has now like however many fewer arms, just looks at the captain's like, ah.
She just sort of shrugs, and just sort of looking down. There's just someone. You've got one prisoner who's who's unconscious at this point. So
make ready for a burial at sea then.
She'll sort of look around and just sort of look down at the guy, and she's like, and she will glance around briefly and ask, "Anyone want this one?" She says, pointing at at your prisoner. And
Are we throwing the armless person overboard? Are we just gonna leave them to die?
Are they
I thought that they had already died.
Yeah, are they
fair.
dead and armless or alive and armless? Because I guess that really matters.
The armless one is the armless one appears to be bleeding out. So it just depends on if you want to if you would like to move to save him or not.
Well, if he's alive, then Elijah will kind of give him a once-over, see his condition, and just kind of like, look like, don't know why you thought you had to do this, but I'm real sorry you thought you did. Looks like you might not have long for seeing all this strife now. As I kind of like, pat him over and like, make him comfortable, because like, guy's got no arms. I mean, he's bleeding out. There's not much I could do short of like being an actual water healer,
Yeah.
It's I take something from my med pack and like, just chew this and just think of home.
And he sort of nods and does. And does not take too long to expire. So, yeah, Captain McIver at this point is going to look over. She just sort of looks over. Yeah, no, he's done for yet. We got one. If you want him. We're not slowing down, though. Come here. She just basically is going to grab up the fellow that you rendered unconscious, and is just going to drag him over and toss him over the side. So you just sort of hear that splash, and then you hear, "Much obliged." And then you kind of sort of see the people on the Sanguine Tomb preparing to go and grab him. And you then make your way into the port of Brigands Bay. And I am thinking this is a good place for us to go ahead and take our break. So we're going to step away for a few minutes, and then we shall return and see what happens in the bay. We'll be right back. Welcome to the break. Today I have Gnome with me to chat about various things. Hey, how's it going?
All right, I don't know which way to look.
I don't know what direction anything is in right now. I have to keep remembering that it's like, if I want to point at someone, I have to go opposite to the way that I'm seeing them on the screen. So it's like, yeah. So I guess I'm to your right, if that helps.
Okay, so you're over here?
I'm over there,
What's
yes.
up?
Hey, how's it going? Okay.
Love it. Perfect. Nailed it.
Excellent. Good. Nailed it. All right. So you do a lot of different things in the RPG community, podcasting and streaming, and also game design and various a lot of different efforts to just help the whole thing interface with humanity. So I'm just curious, how did all this start? How did you get into RPGs and into the whole presenting them to the public?
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, if we're going super far back, which isn't, I guess, really that far back in the grand scheme of things, I started with my school, my junior high, so like 7th or 8th grade, had a historical miniature society, which was basically just a bunch of like old dude teachers who played little, like war miniatures, right? Historical, ones, a lot of like Roman Empire type stuff. And so one of my friends was like, hey, you should come check this out. This is pretty cool. And it was okay. But it wasn't like, I wasn't that into the history, right? So then the following year, my friend was like, yo, how about some like Warhammer Fantasy? I was like, now you're talking my game. All right, let's do this. So I started playing Warhammer Fantasy for a couple of years with them throughout high school, which was just a lot of fun. And I tried D&D for a little bit, but I didn't have the best experiences with it because I probably wasn't playing with the right people, and it was kind of weird back then. And so I kind of stopped. And then come literally like 5 or 6 years ago, maybe, I was just like, yo, I really want to do this. Why am I not doing this? This looks so fun. This looks so cool. Like, why am I not playing Dungeons and Dragons? So I was like, all right, wife, let's go. Let's do this. Let's go rally up some friends. So we found some friends, some of who've played before, some who have never played before. And it was like an old high school friend and like a coworker and his girlfriend. And like, just like the most random people who like, I hadn't really seen in a long time. And I ran the Lost Mine of Phandelver, and it just went from there. It hooked me, hook, line, sinker. Like, I loved it, totally fell in love, and ended up just exploring and like, oh, okay, what else can we do? What else can I play? And kind of at that time, I was already starting to stream, not TTRPG stuff. I started as like a variety gamer, a lot of like World of Warcraft and like Minecraft mostly. And so I kind of had started building a humble little gnomish size audience. And I think eventually like somebody showed me Critical Role, and I was like, oh, I think it was probably like episode 40 or something, like from the first season. It was just, yo, okay, that's cool. I already stream. Why don't we do that? So then I started doing like our home table. So I had like 4 cameras set up and like a blue Yeti in the middle with the awful omnidirection. Like, it was terrible production, right? But it was fun. It was great. We had miniatures. I drew maps. I had terrain because like I love that that table aspect too. And eventually stuff started picking up, and it was like, this is what I want to do. I love this. So I just started doing it more, and got really lucky that one day Grant Ellis decided to pick me for a charity stream. I think he was doing his like 30-day December holiday non-stop-a-palooza where he just ran 50 billion games nonstop. And so I was part of that, and like that's what kicked off everything to where I'm at now, which is just wild because that was only 3 years ago. And now I play games for, I stream or produce games 4 or 5 times a week. I work for Kobold Press in capacity. I work for Die Hard Dice. Like, I am fully invested in the tabletop industry and the gaming industry, and I love it. And I'm just so grateful to be here and then to help share that with other people. Because I wouldn't be where I was if it hadn't been for somebody who reached out a hand, right? And said, hey, you seem all right. Why don't you come try this out? Okay, cool. So like I try to apply that like with games. I try to have at least one new person who I've never played with at a table. I reach out, I watch, I consume so much content to see what other people are doing. Be like, oh, I really love what you're doing. You want to come do something over here? Like, You know, like that's you have to do that. You have to
Yeah.
reach out and elevate others. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, and I think that if I remember correctly, and now it's just sort of murky for me at this point, but I think the first Twitch stream I ever appeared on, I think was also on something Grant was doing.
Of course it
because
is.
yeah, that's how it works. I
Grant.
think.
That's what it is.
And the funny part is, he wasn't even actually in it. He had a point where it's like he wasn't feeling well, and so he had to have a friend kind of take over for him and run the adventure. And so it was a thing where it was just, so it was like a strangely displaced thing, but it was awesome. No, that's very cool. That's very cool. I think it's interesting. A lot of folk, something that I hear a lot from folks who are just getting into it, and you said you started with like Fandelver, which is something that I have not actually looked at very much, but from what I've heard, a lot of folks are getting into it these days with that. And so I understand it's basically like a gateway drug. Would that be a way to describe it?
It is.
Yeah.
I have to like, I've read through the majority of like 5th edition campaigns and whatnot, but there is just something very magical about the Lost Mine of Fandelver. It is a quintessential representation of what Dungeons and Dragons actually is and can be. It gives you the very, like, you meet in a tavern, right? There's a dungeon, there's a dragon, there's all of these side quests, there's NPCs, there's bad guys, there's good guys, there's I don't know what kind of guys these are. Like it really, I mean, it's smartly written. The adventure can be replayed. Like the replayability of the adventure is just wild. I've ran it a couple of times now, and I have a current game going on right now with it, and it is completely different every time that I've run it, and I just get so much joy, especially welcoming new players running it, because they come up with the wildest things. Like, oh, no, I didn't think about an entire group deciding to dress themselves up as MacLeod and go through Cragmaw Cave and trick all of the goblins and literally bypass the cave. They bypass the entire cave.
Oh my god, that's so good.
Like 10 hours of content that they reduced to 2.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's too good.
And you just let it happen, right? Like,
yeah,
you let it go. You let them play the way that they want to play it in the game. It's not railroady in the sense that, like, you have to do this here in order to do this. It encourages you to kind of like mishmash and get ready. Be prepared that your players might not find this character, this NPC interesting. They may have no investment in this particular quest, but maybe they're really interested in this. And it gives you enough options to kind of like play around with. So as a GM, as a first-time GM, it was very easy to understand and very easy to adapt. So I recommend it to everybody. For old players, for new players, it's how I learned 5th edition. Because when I first tried to play D&D, it was back in like 3.5. And so it was just an easy way to understand 5e rules, an easy way to understand party composition, how to role play, how to guide stories, and how to adapt.
Yeah.
Like, here's the pieces of the story, because it's not a true complete, like, it is a complete story, but there's so many other little things going on that you can kind of like build this campaign any way you want. So I really enjoy it, and I really recommend it to others.
Very cool. Well, something that I want to make sure that we don't just sort of pass over here, and that I think I actually want to, I'm probably going to want to talk about more in another of these, but I at least want to touch on here is that you mentioned that it's the importance of uplifting others and getting them into the, not only I guess into the hobby and into into streams, being seen. That is like one of the, in my opinion, one of the most important things anyone who is interested in this kind of thing, this kind of activity, I think should be doing. And so I'm wondering, just as things have progressed and you've had the opportunity to do that, do you have if you had to give any advice on how to on ways to reach out to others and get them in, what do you think you would say if you wanted to talk about that, give advice on that?
Well, I mean, first watch and see what's already out there. Because sometimes, some people are out there, they just haven't been able to reach an audience, right? But if you take the time to go look and to go find the people who maybe they only have, like 3 viewers or something, in the stream, like, that's okay. They're putting out content, and it could be the best content you've ever seen. It just isn't getting the views, right? It's hard to put something in front of an audience. So you go be that audience. Go see what's up. Go see what they're doing. Go listen to their podcast. Go follow them on social media. See how they interact with others. Obviously, like, if you're looking for players or something, make sure that their play style is similar to yours as well, because it's hard to get people who, like, I love tactical RPGs, because again, I came from wargaming, so I want the minis, I want my little damn ruler, and I want to, like, okay, I can only move this far, I have to use this other ruler to pivot on this like, I love that, but it's really hard to showcase that on a stream, and you can't showcase that on a podcast. So, like, be aware of the many different play styles that there are out there. Some people only like Adventurers League, and that's okay. It's not quite for me. I now like improv and narration, so I'm looking more for people who are willing to adapt and to tell a story together versus let's just play through the campaign. And that more so goes for people who are looking to broadcast. Right? So if you're at your home and you're just having fun with friends, or you're at a convention, play however you want. Play whatever's going to be safe and comfortable for you. But as far as, like, networking and reaching out and trying to find other, new players, Roll20 has, like, they're looking for group, which has been a pretty cool feature. I know I've used that in the past. Social media, honestly, I think the Twitter community, is super helpful. There's just so many people, and everybody knows everybody at some point. And I say that, and there's definitely a bunch of people that I don't actually know. But it's the 6 degrees of separation, right?
Yeah.
Like, you might know somebody who I don't know, but they definitely know somebody who I know. Like, one of those
totally.
things. So just follow, just watch, just listen. And you'll eventually find people who you think that, you might click well with. And honestly, it doesn't really hurt to just be like, hey, my name is so-and-so, and I'm looking to put this game together. I've seen what you do. I really enjoy when you did this on this particular show. Would you be interested in coming to do something here? If you do, like, a cold kind of, like, inquiry like that, as far as you want to be clear with your communication, who you are, acknowledge that you actually kind of know the person in some sort of way. It's a little awkward to be like, oh, hey, yep, I saw your name here. Cool. Would you want to do this? Try to be a little more personal with it, to show that you actually care and you understand what it is that they could bring to your table. Let them know the time commitment, let them know if it's paid or unpaid, let them know the game tone, the game itself, are safety tools being used. These are just things that you should just establish right off the bat, and then make sure that you mention that, like, hey, it's okay if you say no. I just wanted to reach out and see if you have the availability, because a lot of people are going to say no. A lot of people are going to say no for 100 different reasons, and that's okay. No worries. Maybe you'll do something next time. Maybe the schedules will line up better. But definitely be clear in your communication when you are reaching out to other people who are looking to be players in something, or looking to GM something, or looking to create something.
Absolutely. Well, that is awesome. And thank you so much for coming and talking to us about this. If folks would like to find you online, where should they go?
You can find me mostly on Twitter and Twitch at Nomadic. Those are pretty much the 2 areas where I hang out all of my life.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, that's good. It's good to be able to find folks there. That's good.
Yes.
Awesome.
Visibility is important.
Visibility is crazy
Make yourself available.
Absolutely. All right, folks. Well, we will see you later. Take care. We have returned, and you're going to see the vessel pulling into Brigands Bay. This is basically a pirate town in many ways, but there is no harbor master, there is no city watch. It does have a lot of people who are looking for exciting employment opportunities to join a vessel and look for plunder. And this is also a great place. This has a very thriving black market. Also is an excellent place if you want to unload goods without having to deal with the with port authorities. Your vessel does have a super, so a bonded super to, in case you actually want to go and trade, because you sometimes do business in more legitimate ports like New Madrid or Baltimore. But here it's just sort of sometimes whenever you're sort of gathering stuff around the south end of the Flotsam Sea, it's just Brigands Bay is very convenient. And is generally, but generally it's going to be worth the percentage that they charge there whenever you are trading goods, which is just like there's a flat fee pretty much. But I will kind of yes. Let me in fact zoom in on Brigands Bay here, just so that that will be a thing people are perhaps looking at. Let me get the map up here once again. There we are. Sort of to display sort of where we are sitting here. So you have basically, so you have these docks that pretty much you just go you go wherever there's room. So your ship pulls in. They folks are disembarking. They are your super Clyde and your quartermaster, who is a Scarillion by the name of Krothos, are going to take care of the inventory of stuff that you have that you want to trade here, and they're sort of prepping to getting stuff lifted out, and they're going to go. They're going to go to the market and see about getting that traded, getting stuff traded out. The vessel that you found the treasure chest in is Spanish, so the coins in there are doubloons, but they're gold, so they'll spend. And so those pretty much get divvied up amongst the crew. Everyone who is part, all of you lot are considered essential crew. So you each get 2 shares of the haul, where of course the captain gets 3 shares. Essential crew each get 2 shares. The ship gets 2 shares, and then each of the rest of the crew gets 1 share apiece. And this is a frigate, so it's you've got like a crew of about a dozen. So you're almost half the crew basically, and you've actually been operating without a first mate for a while, Moya, the captain, is sort of looking to possibly hire one on now that there's you've picked up a little bit of money, and sort of is going to kind of be sort of on the lookout for that. In the meantime, she has let it be known amongst you folks. You're free to take a bit of shore leave if you like, but not to spend everything in one place. And also that you should see if you can look for work. See if there's anything you sort of catch wind of. Apparently, and this is sort of a thing, a couple of you will get notice that probably because you were sort of they kind of expected you to be coming back into port at this point, that Margaret, who is one of your contacts here, may possibly have something for you, but sort of up to you folk how you want to do this. So you have a few things. You have a little time if you want to come out and explore a bit of Brigandy Bay. You have basically the place that most of the sailors are heading for is a tavern called the Black Queen. That's like the popular and cleanest tavern. They also have a bit more money to actually spend right now, so they're going to do that. Let us in fact find something out here. So someone, and I actually just noticed I need to rearrange the faces here, but while I'm doing that, someone who would like to volunteer, please roll 3d20 for me. Okay. So it's going to come out to you each are going to what you're each going to come out with is you're each going to get 40 pieces, the equivalent of 40 pieces of 8 apiece.
Awesome.
Out of the chest, basically. And I think that probably the doubloons individually are probably are going to be bigger and heavier, and worth more than individually are worth more than a single piece of 8, a Charybdin piece of 8. But so it's the value that you have is you get an additional 40 each from this chest. Also, just so you'll know, for the excellent RP in the last during that initial encounter, I've awarded everyone another Benny. Also, there is because sometimes I am a person who sometimes forgets to award bennies. If at some point you see an opportunity for things to go horribly wrong because of one of your hindrances, and you would like something to go horribly wrong because of one of your hindrances, please let me know and I will give you a Benny, and then something will go horribly wrong. Also, you may voluntarily choose to fail rolls if you wish, in exchange for which I will give you a Benny, if you can explain to me how it is that something about your character has caused that to happen. So those are also ways to get bennies, aside from and not having to wait on my capriciousness necessarily, if you so desire. So you have a few different places you can check out here. If you want, you can go to the tavern. You can go to the marketplace. There are people who live here. So if you know anyone here, you may go and visit them if you so desire. And this is a functional town, albeit one full of pirates. So what would you folks like to do? What do you do when you get into port?
I think. Go ahead. Sorry, Jim.
No, go right ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think this being a place where we could probably turn in some treasures or oddities for coin, I think maybe Maria would go see about finding somebody who maybe has a lead on that strange clockwork item we found a while ago. Keeping at the puzzle.
I guess the real question is, how long were we at sea previously?
This is an excellent question. Not as long as you had been. You came across that Spanish ship, and that was like, oh, this is this week's work. So you've actually only been at sea for a couple of days. It takes a couple of days to get from the edge of the Flotsam Sea to Brigandy Bay. So you all told, you've been about a week and a half. But it's not been that long comparatively, because you've had normally it's like months when you do this, or a month or two.
Yeah, I was just wondering for the sea fatigue mechanics.
Oh yes. So no, that's not really going to come into play here. You haven't been to sea very long for this one. You got lucky.
Whew. The sea.
I got you off it quickly this time, didn't I?
Yeah. I don't really it's like, there's a thing you need to do, but then there's things you want to do, and they just never really line up, they never just come together quite right.
I've never experienced that. No.
You're young yet. One day, life and your expectations and your desires are all gonna come at a crossroad, and then they're gonna try and pull you apart like a man being quartered.
Does this have anything to do with the amount of vomiting you were doing over the side of the ship?
No. No. It's just that you're young. You're young. Life really hasn't taken you by the face yet. And you've got a lot of face, I'll tell you.
Well, I don't know if you meant it that way, but that's amongst the Kraken, that's flirtatious.
Oh, well, life will flirt with you. And then it'll cheat you.
You are a very, very down. Are most humans like you?
Well, maybe.
200 years ago or so, they were not this familiar with relative strangers, but depends on who you ask, I guess.
Doctor,
No.
where do you plan on going while you're here?
I don't know. I'm on land, and that's really enough right now. You got a plan there, Kistrus? You gonna go do something?
Yes, I'm going to do something. I don't know what yet, though.
Mm-hmm.
Maria, where are you going?
I was thinking maybe to a junk shop or a specialist shop of some kind.
You want to
See if
buy
maybe we could
junk?
No, not buy junk. Just maybe get some insight onto that treasure we are searching for, whatever that piece of clockwork was leading us to.
Oh. Because I was going to say, I could sell you junk. I could find junk to sell you.
No,
But
no, 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 no.
if it's about that thing that we found, that thing,
Yes,
I'll go with you.
that sounds wonderful. Yes.
All right.
I just love it when y'all talk vague.
The thing with the parts, with the clockwork.
Oh,
the thing.
the damn spiky thing you wouldn't throw up on the masthead because it's important.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Mm-hmm.
Doctor, would you like to come with us so that we can talk to someone about this thing and maybe life will grab me by the face while it happens?
You know, I wouldn't. I'd like to see that actually. Let's go.
Marcel, Perry, you're welcome to join us to see if life grabs me by the face as well.
He's so excited.
Time for everything, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, when you've been working in this business as long as I have, speaking in vagaries becomes a bit of a code in and of itself. I like it.
Maria, you're always putting on these airs like you're old or something.
Well, I was born in 1603.
Time is a circle.
You know, if you used to say that about the Earth, that was something that they would burn you at the stake for, where I come from.
Well, you know, once you start getting into mists and boat rides you don't want and maidens, you know, time is almost immaterial. Almost.
Doctor, you can be honest with us. Are you already drunk?
You know, there just ain't enough drink to make this drowned world seem any better, honestly.
Well, I hope fate grabs you by the face too. In a good way. You do not have, and I do not mean this in a flirtatious way, you do not have as much of a face as I do.
That's true. That's true.
Come, let's go.
So, is everyone going on this life face grabbing expedition, or is anyone doing anything else? Just so I'll know where everyone is.
You know what they say, when life grabs you by the face. Sometimes it's wise to just let it squeeze. That's a canonical saying now in Charybdis.
Yes, it is.
Jeez.
I did this and I'm proud of it.
Oh, God. Oh, so good. Yes. So, yeah, you are, so you're going to, you're looking for someone to tell you more about the clock thingy, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. So, as you're, as you are heading, as you are heading over there, then into sort of the different market and the businesses. I think we're going to. This is kind of a hitting the streets thing, which has been adopted from, oddly enough, got adopted from Deadlands Noir into Savage Worlds Adventure Edition. And so this is primarily going to be just kind of looking around, asking around, seeing if you can get kind of more information or someone you can talk to about what this thing is. So I would. So this is going to be a persuasion roll for whoever it is that's going to be leading this particular thing. I'm presuming that is Maria.
I think I'm good at persuading. Let me double check what I put on this. I'm at least skilled in it. Okay.
Yep. 9. Okay, that's good. You got a raise.
Hooray.
So, yeah, you so you ask around a bit, and it turns out that your your quartermaster actually kind of knows somebody. Because this, there is kind of a thing it's like an antique shop that's here, of sorts. It's by and large, it's sort of more of a, it's treated more sort of like a pawn shop more than anything else, but it is. It is owned by another Scarillion. So these crab people, as you are kind of sort of find your way to Skonos's Curiosities. And when you sort of get there, it's this. Basically, it's this. It looks almost like a hut, except it does have, it's sort of in the shape it's built. It looks like they did use wooden beams and what have you, but and it's got a proper door and everything, and so it's a little sort of like oddly shaped. It's like the building is like almost sort of rounded top. Almost the way that they put it together, and when you open the door, you hear the little bell jingle, and you see this place is crammed full of things. Looks like nautical memorabilia, nets everywhere, compasses, different, like you see ship's wheels up along the wall. You see kind of all manner of these things. You realize, and then as you look at it through the sort of the back half, this is actually like someone sort of, and then sort of as some of you approach this, you kind of will recognize this more. But as you realize that they kind of just took the insides of the hull of a ship and they turned it upside down and cut off sides of it, and it's like, okay, wait, this is the building basically. And there is a there are books on shelves in the back, and you see a lot of just sort of little sort of trinkets dangling down from different things. Everything is kind of low to the ground, but there is like a second level that there's a little sort of staircase that folks can go up, but everything is still kind of on each level, kind of low enough to the ground that a very large crab could reach up and grab it. So there is a counter that you see this. You see, there's like a couple people sort of looking around in here. They're kind of just sort of wandering around, and then you see this crab guy, just sort of climb up this ramp to behind his behind their counter, and he just sort of looks at you, looks at you all as you enter in, and he's like, "Welcome, welcome. To what do we owe the honor of your what do we owe the honor of this visit? Hmm?
Just a matter of our curiosity.
You've come to the right place then. That's why I put it on the sign."
Something about a shop made out of a hollowed-out boat kind of gives it away. We're here about this strange piece of clockwork my friend and I recovered during a salvage expedition, and we were wondering if you could help us figure anything out about its provenance, or maybe what it's being used for.
Clockwork? What is it? I'm not exactly a clockmaker here, but we can bring it over. Have a look. Let's take a look at it, shall we? Bring it over.
And just sort of gently unwrap it from a little piece of cloth. Set it down for him.
You see he reaches over and he grabs, because he's got like multiple sort of hands that are doing things kind of multiple times at the same time, and he sort of reaches over and grabs these strange kind of like goggle type things that he sort of that again fitted again for a Scarillion. It kind of, it's this thing sort of attaches to his the top of his head and sort of pulls down, and there are these lenses that come out. And he's looking this over. Hmm. Where did you find this?
At sea. Like most things a salvage ship finds out at sea.
Oh, that narrows it down. Any particular area of sea? It is rather big.
Maria's player does not remember, but Maria would definitely remember.
Yeah. We never actually established it, so you can put it anywhere on the map you like.
Oh, okay. Let me just... let's see. Maybe somewhere around the Kirin Sea area, so a little far away from where we are right now.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So you basically you let them know things like Kirin, near the Kirin. Interesting. Wait a minute. And just sort of is like stopping and thinking. Not the south end of the Kirin Sea. South end?
Very same.
Oh, goodness. Goodness me. You see this marking? And sort of as he turns it around, and you can see there is, looks like a symbol, that it's like a circle, that's sort of hewn into it. It's like a circle with, a couple of, about 4 different sort of little bent lines coming off of it on 4 sides of the circle. And I might actually try to draw it for you.
Yeah, I'm kind of imagining like a turtle shaped.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that'd be something kind of like that. Yeah, that's a good way to think of it. basically, so he points that out. He says, well, this is, well, yes, this is something from that I have not seen for a long time. It's not even certain that. It's not even certain. I can't even really say whether this is real or myth. But as these things are sort of have their different their different provenances and whatnot. But I think that this is quite possibly, yes. This may be Sir Lewin, which is rather unusual because we've not heard much of them. If anyone wants to attempt to know what it is that I am talking about, this would be something involving academics. If you want to jump the gun here on the knowledge, but this is going to require at least a raise. Could
I use research for that?
Yeah, you could. Well, we can let you use research or something along those lines. Normally, that's when you go and you read up on a thing, but we can.
I guess maybe have I researched it?
Yeah.
Could I theoretically use this?
Yeah, we can do that for this. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So.
Maybe I'll use a Benny to see if I can actually get that raise, because I think I needed a 9, right?
You needed an 8 or better, yeah.
Yeah, I'll use a Benny for that.
Okay.
Search, where did you go? There you are. Ugh. All right, let's use the last one, because I really want to know. Yes!
Oh, there you go.
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, so that was... Yeah, so the
if we had light bulbs
Lewin,
in this time period, one would have just gone off above Maria's head.
The Sir Lewin Empire was an ancient Massaquani empire that existed a long time ago. That they are kind of... Not a lot is known about them. They were precursors to the empire of Agrapog. That's where most of them ended up. Most of their descendants ended up. And of course, the empire of Agrapog was buried under 50 fathoms of water 13 years ago. Predominantly. The Kirin Empire survived, but they were separate. And they enjoyed keeping themselves as separate as possible. But those were also Massaquani. The Sir Lewin Empire, most of what's known about it, and actually since you got multiple raises, it is rumored that they had some kind of... That they were... There are these old legends about them having some kind of utopian thing that some sort of utopian sort of place that they established, a Shangri-La type thing, in conjunction with ancient Ugaks, which is also practically unheard of these days. But no one really knows a lot about Ugak history and culture either, really.
Nope.
So it's it's one of those anything is possible situations. But that basically, you'd sort of think in terms of like, it's almost like, it's not exactly a Legend of Atlantis type thing. It's not quite as big, but it's a thing not unlike it, shall we say.
Something like mythical and advanced.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, very much thought to. It inhabits that kind of fictional space, at least. There are legends kind of about that. So you recognize this when he mentions it, and he shows you this symbol. And he says, "It's the thing about old gods. You see, it's a fascinating field of study, actually. They seem to, is that there was apparently there's a time in previous civilizations when before the predominant Masquani would predominantly follow do ancestor worship type thing. It seems that they some of them might have had, there were some possible connections. Some folks speak almost as some humans would say blasphemously about them following some of the some sort of titanic godlike figures the same way as the Ugaks are believed to. But there's yes, this we think some think that you see, this is clearly part of something. Yes.
Well, we would assume so.
Yeah. Yes. It's not a clock, not by itself. No, it could keep time, I suppose, were it activated. But no, this device, as far as I can see, is used to probably make work with another device. It should something perhaps larger.
Just kind of, it's a meaningful look over at Christus. He's like, "You have me intrigued."
Christus, during this entire conversation, has literally been just walking around near the counter, picking up every single thing that's there, looking very closely at it, and putting it back.
Yeah.
Every now and then,
every now and then, one of his eyes will kind of flick over and back. The eyes aren't actually on stock, so I don't know why I'm doing this. But his eyes will kind of flick over and back, and he'll say, "Yeah, there are some who say now there are some who, of course, there's you probably have known this." The old legends, you see, as to the thought of their ancient that the ancient city state of Salua was thought to be have long ago drowned long ago, before even in a flood many years previous. And there's been some scuttlebutt it might actually be connected to the Isle of Gloom, but someone's been I heard somebody talking about the Isle of Gloom recently. Now that I think about it, I can't remember who it was.
Sounds like a vacation. Gloom on a whole island. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's something. Some say that's like the last vestige of the Saluans, as this the Isle of Gloom, but somewhere there. But no, it's that's if one were to do anything with this device, one would perhaps do it there, should it exist.
Now, Kistress, how many fingers is poor Dudley gonna lose to, trying to find wherever this thing fits things? He's already lost one.
But, I mean, we know where it's gonna go now. It has to go to the Isle of Gloom. And that island, I will point out that island, first of all, is an island, so you won't be on the water. And secondly, this could be fate grabbing you by the face.
So, if we're on an island now, and we gotta get to an island, what's in between an island and an island?
Adventure!
That's what I thought you'd say. I love your spirit, Kistress. You just go and do with no real thought. You don't let thinking hinder you. Nah.
Maria thinks well enough for everyone.
Oh, well, that's certainly very flattering to hear, but hardly realistic.
I mean, you've thought well enough so far. We end up here with the thing and this island that we're going to go to.
Although there is just one small problem with that. Tell me, where would we find this on the map exactly? Not to be overly braggadocious or anything, but I am the best cartographer that this ship has seen in many years, and even I have not seen such a thing.
But wouldn't that make you a better cartographer if we found it?
Well, this is a very
like
good point.
the only cartographer who has that on a map.
I can't deny, but I can hardly chart a course to a place that I have no idea.
Yeah, I pull out of my leather satchel a map of Charybdis. I'm like, you know what? Just no Gloom Island on here. Ain't seen it.
I look towards the shopkeeper. Gloom Island, where is it?
No, that's the point. It's a lost island, isn't it?
You know what? Sometimes people lose things, and
no manner of rumors there.
Let them lie.
I did hear someone talking about it recently, though. I swear I heard someone discussing it. Was it? That Sarex. Yes, cousin Sarex. I think I heard Sarex talking about it with that, talking about it with Margaret, that organizer person.
Margaret's the person that probably has a job for us. Oh, that's convenient.
Is that not fate grabbing us by the face?
Yep. Yep. I'm just gonna. I roll my my map back up and put it back in my leather satchel.
Do not worry, Doctor. Your face will become huge after this, and all of the women will want your face.
An engorged face is a sign of infection, and never mind. Nope.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Let's go see Margaret.
Thank you very much for your help.
Yes, thank you. You have a lovely shop. Full of things.
Full of stuff.
I presume you're not going to actually buy any of those things, then?
Kistress just grabs something random off a shelf and pays for it.
You have a random object now.
I have a random object. And we'll call it a random object worth 10 gold, if that sounds right.
Oh, excellent. Cool.
You wouldn't happen to have any sense back there, would you?
Sense?
So yeah, some sense. Good reckoning.
He's looking around behind the counter.
I think that's one of those
pulls
things
out-
that is.
He pulls
always
out
in
a
high
gavel.
demand, but short
I've got a mallet.
You know what? I'll take it.
All right. Two pieces. Well, sure. Two pieces of 8.
Yep. I give him 2 pieces, and I kind of shake this at Kister's like, see, now we got sense.
You now have
Knock it into you.
You now have what looks a lot like a judge's gavel. And I think that Kistris, you have picked up a lamp. And so basically it's a lantern that looks kind of cool. And you head off into the town once again to hunt down Margaret. Ultimately, you're going to find her where in a place where she does quite a lot of business, and that is actually at the tavern. She is at the Black Queen. This is a pretty big tavern, and as you kind of head in, it's multi-level, very nautically themed, and it is you have all manner of folks in here, basically, that are sort of drinking grog and singing, going forth. On the second level, there is where the one may purchase time with the prostitutes that they have here on staff. It's a fairly raucous bar. It is roughly you're getting toward twilight at this point, so there are people coming in and doing large amounts of drinking and small amounts of fighting, which, generally speaking, in this place, if it doesn't start a full-on bar brawl, then they leave it alone. There is a behind the bar is the person that runs this place, Halu. They're a Mesquani, sort of an orange tone. They are fairly tall, but they are always sort of perpetually kind of scowling at everyone and everything. You're going to see sort of in the corner, in one of the corners, you're in sort of a booth type area. You are going to see this little old lady, with whom you are all familiar. This is Margaret. She is sitting and she's talking to a few different people. Captain McIver is here, also. She right now basically is doing a certain amount of carousing, but she is nearby. If you should need her for anything. It looks like she's actually she's kind of she's been sort of drinking, and one of the prostitutes is kind of talking, sort of chatting her up, and she's like, she's sort of she's sort of right now just kind of resting more than anything else. So a lot going on here. People also, there seems to be a board off to the side where there are targets that people are throwing knives at, and they have it looks like they have painted a picture of Admiral Duckworth on it. And who sort of operates his fleet sort of out of Baltimus, I believe. What would you folks like to do?
Check in with Margaret. I guess let her know how the last thingy went, and that we tried to get, or they attempted to board us, but it didn't happen. Or we stopped it.
So, yeah, as you sort of head over to this table, and you tell Margaret, you see a man with sort of a dark red hair and a long, very decorated-looking coat stands up, and you see that basically, Margaret has sort of been sitting there, just sort of talking. There are a few people that are at the table, including actually your quartermaster Krothos, is there, basically, and she will just sort of look up, and the man who steps away from the table will just sort of nod at you folks, and you actually, some of you will probably most of you will recognize this was the gentleman who had the megaphone earlier. This is Crimson Carlisle. He just sort of stands up and just sort of picks up his hat and he nods to you all, and Margaret just sort of looks up. Yes, shoo. Yes. At this guy, at Carlisle. She's like, you have to you'll have to forgive me. It was the fella is very, very keen on business, that one. So now, Marcel. So how did it go? Krothos was just telling me that you had a little bit of a hiccup on the way in.
Yeah, I mean, I chopped the guy's arm off, but it was the usual.
Yeah, people are. Yeah. Idiot there, she says, sort of gesturing again at Carlisle's back as he's walking away. Yeah, it's just up trying to apologize for that fella. For those folks that ever since he seems to be trying to pull something together in defense of this bay. It's been a little bit too simpering for my taste. Things were much better when he just lopped people's heads off. Then you knew where you stood.
Yeah.
We've been doing some tallying. It looks like a lot of there's a little bit of there's a little bit of debt still left, but this knocked out most of it for. She just sort of gestures, and she's pointing this time at Captain MacIver. So always a good thing when you can actually own the ship that you're running, I say, and so she'll have full say over the shares very soon. But everything came in traded all right. I heard there was. And I heard that there was a bit of a windfall there with respect to that, so that's always good. How are you? And how are you?
Me?
Okay. Yes. Came out of it all right, did you?
Yeah. No, it was a good fight. It was fun to get a nice warm up on the way back in.
Anxious for? Are we anxious for another one soon?
I take what I can get.
I might have some security stuff coming up. If you folks are interested, but we'll have to see. And she just sort of is looking around. And she just sort of gestures at Perry. Prothos was just telling me you had a fella pinned to a mast.
Something like that. You're not supposed to toy with them. You're just supposed to, you're just supposed to either push them off or lop off limbs or some such thing, ain't you? That's not very sportsmanlike. Well. Hey, young.
I mean,
young
boarding
folks.
our ship isn't very sportsmanlike.
These young folks want all this nuance in these tasks. I just don't know how these things go. Is there something I can help you folks with?
Yes. We were told that, what was the name of the island?
It was the island of Gloom.
Yes.
Oh, where are you now?
Yes, we were told that Sarix talked to you about it. Or mentioned it near you or something.
She just sort of leans back and she looks up at the balcony, and you can see there's another Skurlian. There are a lot of Skurlians on this island. Just sort of going back and forth and talking to some folks up there. You know who that is? He's a bit important. He's the most important Skrillian on this island. No offense, Krothos. Krothos is like, yeah, whatever.
I know I'm not important.
And she will say, there's he's runs things for the coalition. So if you're asking me about the Island of Gloom, you've got to be damn well sure you want to be asking about it. That's all I'm saying.
Margaret. In any of these jobs you have, do you have any, do you think we could come across any sort of discernment, prudence, mother wit, horse sense? Maybe? No?
I rather wish there was, because, if folks in this field tend to be rather short of that.
How about some perspicacity?
Well, I think they might got some bottles of something similar behind the bar, but I don't know if it lasts. It's a good question, though. It's a good question. Why do you want to know about the Isle of Gloom?
Rhea, show her the thing.
Well, we have some professional interest in it, and a certain degree of personal interest as well. And I'll just pull out the clockwork piece and show it to her.
Huh.
And you said something about a coalition?
Yeah, so one thing I will mention, and this is actually should be fairly common knowledge, is that this island, Brigandy Bay, is run by a coalition.
Okay.
of folks. Let me see if they actually. I had the names a moment ago. It's just basically pirate captains who've banded together, kind of sort of a mutual protection thing, and they're the ones who sort of formed this whole pirate code thing where no one will attack each other while they are here. Basically it's why work against each other when together we can be rich. That's kind of the idea. There are it's these three captains who have kind of banded together, it's one of them is one of them is a Masquani, one of them is a Doreen, and one of them is a Frenchman, which is of course one of the visitors.
Maria just kind of a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
There's nothing wrong with the French.
Maybe not from your period of time. Which, as we have established, is a circle, so I have to confess, there is nothing wrong with the French.
Yeah.
Fuck the French.
You sort of look up and say, don't let La Sanguine hear you say that.
I have beef with the French.
I would imagine so.
And
So why would it be awful if the coalition had some idea that we were going after this, that we were trying to find this island?
I just don't know. As you think this is a... I think at this point, well, actually, yes, she's going to say, this is the kind of thing that you got to be... This is the kind of thing, this sort of job, that you can't mess up. You know what I'm saying?
Sort of like a one shot.
Yes. If perhaps there were a job available related to this Isle of Mist, we'd have to be absolutely certain you'd be able to follow through on it.
Well, we can't know that until we know what the job is.
I think someone here should probably make a persuasion roll of some kind.
Oh boy.
Not it.
That's a very good roll. All right, so she says, and she's Marcel, what do you say to Maria about this in this moment?
To Maria or Margaret?
Margaret, sorry, brain, too many MARs. What do you say to Margaret about this in this moment?
Margaret, level with me here. We've been working together for a few years now. I think we can handle this.
Well, you do have this, which is probably part of something that would be related to it, I guess. All right, well, here's the thing. We recently found some rutters from that we think is from the McBride expedition. That was the thing. Those toffs up the East India Company started sending this fellow out to the a little bit ago to Toreth Ka. Trying to establish something there. He had a few different ships going with him. They funded this big expedition, right? Tried to keep it quiet, but you know, word gets out. And that expedition did not come back, but there was, not too long ago, something from one of their ships came in, it seems, was found. The rutters from one of those ships. Not McBride's ship, unfortunately. We still don't know what happened to that bastard, but let's see, they were going to try to study a bit, shall we say. They learned a little bit about that the people there as well. And apparently, as they were coming around and just sort of exploring parts of that island, or the Toreth Ka, trying to explore from the outside, they came across a mist, and what they thought from a distance, they saw this island with a bit of fire coming up from creatures on its moving around on its surface. Things looking like sea lions. But I sent I've been having, so I sent over some of this little information, a little on the quiet side over to Maps, and Maps has been looking, and he reckons he might actually know where this place is. This would be a pretty big salvage job if what's there is what could be there. It's hard to know when you're dealing with legends, of course.
What's the legend?
The Isle of Gloom. It's a place said to be the last bastion of some ancient peoples. Somewhere that might house a way between worlds. An island said to move. Never be in the same place twice.
How would you find such a place?
Well, like I said, if the Rutters are to be believed, we might know where it was as of just a short time ago.
Better than salvagers to trace its path through the ocean. That's what we do.
She nods. Well, them lot, she says, looking back up at the balcony, would pay a pretty hefty sum to get ahead of East India on something like this. You know what I'm saying?
They would, but currently you are contracting us and not them, so who is to say that we don't just end up doing their dirty work for them and then getting stuck in the middle of a turf war between the two interests?
Well, it's for reasons like this it's reasons like this that I often do things as a bit of a go-between. And she said, so she says, but right now, as far as we know, no one else has this information. But that's the thing, is that, him up there knows it. Him up there knows that I get to pick someone to send off after it. There'd be, they don't know what might be found there, if anything. But this would be a thing you just have to be careful about who you talk to about it, that's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, it sounds like exactly our sort of job, really.
Well, if you can get Moya to on board with it, then then I can tell Maps to give you the information.
Shouldn't be too difficult. I'm sure she's just as eager to pay off her debts and own the ship as we are to find this place.
Now be careful on this one. This one seems to stir some unusual things. Or easily could.
Like, what sort of unusual things?
Ancient
Mistress
things.
is obviously, like, super excited about that part of it.
Ancient things. Ancient and unknown things.
But
also, it's damn close to a place where gargantuan gods are seen from time to time, so you gotta be careful.
Doctor, do you hear that? Gargantuan gods.
Fight a god.
Well, I heard what she said. I did.
Is that not exciting?
You know, honestly, Mistress, I think it'll be something good to see. You know, this might even be my last ride.
You will retire afterwards.
Oh, I'll retire to the mansions of rest.
I don't know what those are.
The palaces of oblivion.
Wait, we could find those too.
No, you're not quite old enough for that yet, Kistress. Not yet.
So perhaps when I'm... Dr. Stone is old. He can find them for us.
Do you want to tell him or should I?
No.
He can find them for us, yes.
Is this one of those things that humans often say, you'll understand when you're older?
In fact, you won't understand this no matter how old you get. It'll just happen.
Is that done?
Is this a human thing?
A very human thing, but I think it comes from all of us eventually.
All humans, I understand.
Uh,
Maria, you will explain it later, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Good.
Ask me about it after we found the Island of Mists.
All right.
But for right now, we need to stay focused on that.
Yeah. The Island of Mists, also variously called the Isle of Gloom, because Jim sometimes says different things and forgets when he does so.
It's a legend. It can be a fungible thing, like legends are.
Absolutely. Is a thing that perhaps you have she's going to essentially basically write out a thing for you, and she will seal it, she will hand it to one of you, and she'll prepare it. She's not sealing. She has to basically wait. So you go over and you talk. Long story short, you go over and you talk to Moya, and she seems on board with it. She's a little wary, but it seems like a pretty good opportunity. When you head over, you actually see that she is talking right now to a Doreen, who looks actually like seems to be. Doreen don't wear a lot, but this one is dressed in a little bit of what might be considered finery. In that there is, there sort of the belt looks very nice, and he's wearing a hat. That's exceedingly that looks actually a little bit jaunty, and basically when you head over to talk to her, and sort of she's ended up, she's kind of no longer carousing at this point. She got as far as the staircase. And she's now hanging out with this this fellow and talking, and they sort of look and see who is approaching them. Is it just everybody, or is?
It is not me.
Yeah, I think at this point maybe Maria has gone to just keep an eye on things, but order like a flagon of wine or something, and just not be overly conspicuous.
Do you really want it to be Kistrus? Because, I mean, Kistrus is the least subtle person in the world.
Maria does not, but Anna the player absolutely does. Because I embrace chaos and fun.
Kistrus will go over and, try to act subtle.
Oh, man.
That'll be great. I can't wait to see this. All right. So I actually will also say that as you sort of get closer and the group kind of has come out, I will say, Perry, you actually know who this Doreen is that Moya is talking to. This is actually one of the coalition that she's talking to, the captain of the Swift Death. Because it's kind of, there are so few Doreen in the world that most of them know each other. So roughly, I imagine that a good portion of them at least do, and pretty much a lot of them know who this is because he's kind of a bit of a celebrity in your circles. But yeah, Kistrus at least will go over and you see just sort of so Captain MacIver just sort of looks up. Kistrus, hey, this is my ship's mage. She says, gesturing, and he just sort of looks up and down. Evening. Kistrus, this is Captain Braze.
I'm honored to meet you.
And Braze sort of is nodding, just kind of looks and says, "Yes, I was curious about your crew."
What do you want to know?
And they seem to handle the apparently that boarding that happened pretty efficiently, is from what Moya is telling me here. Well, our version of efficiently, anyway. Moya says.
Marcel chopped someone's arm right off. It was amazing.
Interesting.
And Dr. Stone sang everyone a song. It too was amazing.
And at this point, MacIver is like, what's can we do something for you, Kistrus? What's
Oh, am I interrupting something?
And she just sort of looks over. Her eyes kind of flick to Braze, and Braze just sort of shrugs. And she
because
says,
if I am interrupting something, I will come back later.
Well, not as such, I guess. Braze sort of turns. Business always comes first.
Yes, but it might be business between the two of you that I do not want to interrupt with business between me and her.
I like this one. He amuses me. Yeah, he's good about that. No,
Look,
it's all right,
Captain.
Kistrus. It's all right. It's all right. What's up? Please.
There's a job, but we need to talk about it first.
And she's just like, oh yeah, she looks over at Braze, and Braze actually nods sagely. I shall let you talk. And Braze is actually going to turn. He's going to head further into the bar. And he's actually going to. He's going to just sort of move toward, he's seen Perry and he's actually just sort of moving toward them. Because, it's like, oh, hey, type deal.
One of the only surviving members of my race. Hi.
Yes. Yeah. And, William's like, yeah, okay, Kistrus, what is it?
I told you, it's a job, but we need to talk about it first.
Are we not doing that?
Right! So, we found out, the thing? The clockwork thing?
Oh, yeah, you snatched it down off the, off the bowsprit. You weren't going to put it up there.
Right, because it was important. And we found out that part of its importance has to deal with something about the Isle of Gloom. Or Mist. One of the two. I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, I think I've heard
don't
both. If it's the one I'm thinking of. What about it?
All right, so we have a lead to go to the Isle of Mist or Gloom, which either that is. And there's...
Let's just stick with Gloom for now so that this conversation doesn't last the rest of my lifetime.
Right, I keep forgetting you are old. So
old.
We have a lead to go to the Isle of Mist. Or did you want to stick with Gloom? Gloom.
Just
go to the
surprise
Isle.
me.
There's a lead and a job that would send us to the Isle of Gloom, but you're the captain, so you're the one who's supposed to decide what kind of jobs we have. And he just motions back towards the rest of the group and goes, we are waiting on your instruction.
Doc Stone is carefully sipping whiskey and not look like he's waiting on anything. Just like...
sort of looks like, yeah, and she sort of glances over, looks at Doc, and just sort of looks back. Yeah, looks like they're waiting with bated breath.
I give some thumbs up.
See, Marcel is.
My heart.
I mean, you are captain. You get to decide on.
Yeah. I know. It's a salvage thing, and we've spent less time on that last run than we thought we were going to. Sure. It's a good lead. Not going to be running around in circles, are we?
From what I understand, it's a good lead. I mean, everyone else seems really enthused about it.
Yeah, really enthused. Yeah.
Oh, and before you decide, I brought you a lamp, and I just put the lamp on the table.
Kistrus, you shouldn't have.
Oh, and he takes it back again.
Yeah, keep hold of that. You might need it. All right, so if it's a good lead, then okay. I just got did you get it from Margaret over there?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. She and I will talk, and if it looks good, then and it sounds good. So that's just from what you're telling me. Then we can do it. Yeah.
Fantastic. I will tell the rest of the crew. Is there anything else you need while I'm here?
So many things. No. I'm good. I'm just gonna have a little chat with Margaret. All right. Yeah. Sounds good. And she gets up and she's going to start moving in Margaret's direction. And I'm just going to pan over a little bit to Perry, where Captain Braze has come over and has sort of gestured to you sort of more in the direction of one of the quieter corners. This building has many corners because there's a lot of plotting that happens here.
I will go along since it seems equally important to keep the coalition captain distracted.
All of these pirate taverns have like 19 corners in the anyway. They're all shadowy corners. There's like almost no tables that are not in a shadowy corner. And he's sort of like, it's Perry, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, you're on the. Are they still calling it the Reasonable?
Something like that.
Interesting. So, if what your mage is talking to Moya about is what I think he's talking to Moya about, then I suspect that she's going to say yes, probably. So when she does, there's something that you need to know.
How many people have turned down this job already?
Well, not that many. But not that many know about it. However,
Assuming it is what you think it is.
At least hopefully not that many know about it. The circle does increase as time progresses. But what you need to know, what I would like you to know, is that if you go out on this job, I need you to be on the lookout for someone. A few someones.
Something.
Because let's just say that... have you been hearing speak recently of rutters by any chance? Ship's rutters?
Perhaps.
I suspect that were you to have a look at those rutters, because this place that you're potentially going is a place that these people potentially were. There's a chance you might find some of the people whose names are in the rutters. And I think that if you were to look at those rutters, you might see a couple of names that you know. Do you understand me?
I have an inkling.
We don't know what's happened to them. But if you find them, please try and bring them back alive.
Of course.
And I think with that, we are going to conclude this episode. That mysterious conversation.
50 fathoms of mystery right there. I'm so excited. Ah.
Awesome.
I love the pronoun game that we are playing.
I mean, that's fair. It's fair. There's that happens a lot with my NPCs. I do have to confess that, but it's important to be able to play that game. Very cool. Well, it looks as though we've got a new mission on the horizon for our crew, and it'll be very interesting to see how things go with it.
I'm glad Kistrus's subtlety was able to, get the captain on board with
Yes, just putting the B in subtle. There we go.
Yes.
I'm subtle.
It's spelled like scuttlebutt now, but
Precisely. Awesome. Well, folks, we're going to go ahead and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, plug anything you like, and give us any final impressions you had about this episode, favorite moments, or what have you. And going around, we shall start with Anna.
All right. Favorite moment was definitely Maria and Elijah just kind of being like, "Oh, Kistrus, should we tell him? No. Let him be a sweet summer squid child for a while yet, or let them be a sweet summer squid child for a while yet." Yes, so I'm Anna. You can find me on Twitter at Nymeria941 and also on YouTube. I have a channel where I talk about books and video games and TTRPGs. It is rapidly morphing into a multimedia thing. It started out with books and now it's just everything that I like to do. So you can find me there. I guess the other thing that I wanted to plug is that July is Disability Pride Month. And this week in particular, I just found out is Disability Voter Registration Week. This is something that is really important to me. I co-created a disability readathon, which is also on Twitter at that handle. And so on my Twitter, I have a whole bunch of links to make sure that you are registered to vote and you can pledge to vote and all that good stuff. Things are available in English, Spanish, and plain language translations of both of those languages. So again, check out Twitter at Nymeria941 if you would like to learn more about that.
Awesome. Excellent. Very cool. Please check those things out. And now over to James.
Hey, let's see. God, there were a lot of favorite moments during this. Kistrus's discussion with the doctor about fate grabbing you by the face and how that kind of gently related into flirtation techniques. It was beautiful. It was a wonderful moment. You can find me on the Facebook page for the Bureau of Necromantic Affairs, or you can find my books on Amazon. My books are Necropolis and The Case of the Scarlet Starlet, both of which are hard-boiled detective novels set in the 1940s with zombies and ghouls involved. I'm currently busily working on book 3. I intend there to be 7, all in all. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome. Excellent. I like that I'm now looking at an image that has been immortalized of this moment. But now let us head over to Ernest.
Hey everybody. My favorite moment of the game was honestly watching Marcel just kind of revel in the combat and just kind of playing up like this young, still he in their blood, sort of revolutionary who doesn't want to sit still. As far as finding me, you can find me at Hollow Invective on Twitter. I guess I should still start making some content soon or something. I will be here on Monday of next week for Dungeons and Dreamers. I think that's with I should probably figure that out. But I'll be here on the game 8 p.m. Central on Monday with Dungeons and Dreamers. So it's a D&D 5e game.
Cool. Awesome. And is Dungeons and Dreamers the channel? Is that right?
I am going to look it up and we can go next. I'll plug it after we're done.
Sure. Cool. And now over to Jenn.
Hello. I think my favorite moment was just probably Kistress in general. All of it was good. It's cool to watch as people's characters develop. You can find me on Twitter at SoupDuchess with an X. I'm also on Instagram at SoupDuchess, spelled normally. And the only thing to promote is following up on what Anna said. Florida's primaries are coming up real soon, so get registered to vote if you haven't, because most states' primaries are actually coming up soon.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely very, very freaking important. Absolutely. And finally, over to Alyssa.
I think I'm gonna, as far as favorite moments, I'm gonna piggyback on that, on what everyone has been saying. It was hilarious to watch Kistress sort of interacting with everybody, and also just like my sort of realization that Perry had met their match during the knife fight. But yeah, my name is Alyssa. You can find me on Twitter at Origami Shuriken and here on this channel on Sunday evenings for our sci-fi fantasy campaign of Dark Matter. And that's about it.
Awesome. Did we find that Twitch channel, by the way, or is that? Do we know where that is yet? I can always put it in like the.
Yeah, we'll put it in later. Yeah. Oh no, it's one shot onslaught. There it is.
One shot onslaught. Oh.
Yeah.
Cool. Go ahead and. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can just link to that real quick, just for folks, just so that we got that. There we go. There it is. Awesome. All right, very cool. Well, as for me, who am I? I'm Jim. This is my channel. You can find me here at OtherDoc on Twitch and also on Twitter. My website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below here on the Twitch page to my website, to my Twitter, YouTube channel, and some of my fiction and games I've been working on, along with links to game signups and applications to join our Discord. I will mention one more time that this channel is involved in a donation drive for the Bale Project through Team Phyllis. It's been named after a character from our Sprawl campaign. That will continue going as long as our Sprawl campaign continues, which actually our finale is getting pushed back a couple of weeks, so it's going to be going on a little bit longer. So help us beat our new goal, if you would. And also, once again, I highly recommend folks check out Campaign 0 to help put an end to police violence. So on this channel, like I said, Thursday night we are not going to have our regular Sprawl campaign. That's going to be in a couple of weeks. So on next thing on this channel will be on Saturday night. Invisible Sun: The Edge of Paradox is hopefully gonna happen. Then Sunday in the afternoon we do one shots. The one shot this Sunday will be Monster of the Week, run by Pope. Who's going to come on and do an interesting little one shot he calls One Hot Summer. So it'll be very interested to see how that goes. Then, of course, Sunday evenings is our Dark Matter campaign, which is run by someone who you might know up in who you might actually be seeing on this screen right at this very moment, up in the other corner. Who could it be? Who could it be? Please tune in for that because it's glorious. Monday nights I'm over on Salty Sweet Games playing in a fantasy / sci-fi campaign called Strange Invasion. And then, of course, back around to Tuesday nights when we will have more of this. And we shall perhaps begin unlocking the mysteries of the Isle of Gloom. Or Mist, we're not sure which it is. It could be both. Both simultaneously, Gloom and Mist. In the meantime, I don't actually... Yeah, we are actually closing signups for almost everything except Stille Nacht, which I'm going to be running a one-shot of toward the end of the month. So the signups for that one are still open. So if you want to go in and sign up for anything, you can go down, click below on RPG sign up, or go to jimyesthatjim.com and click on Game sign up. As always, beginners are welcome. So let us see. When we hit the end card, I think I'm going to send a raid over to Dice Priori. They have a thing going on. They are playing Monster of the Week. The campaign there. So I'm going to go over there and say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again will be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will see you next week. Farewell.